Joseph, the 11th son of Jacob, also known as Israel, and his favored wife Rachel, is deeply loved by his father, who gives him a richly ornamented coat. This favoritism breeds jealousy among his brothers. To make matters worse, Joseph shares two dreams that suggest he will one day rule over them. One in which a sheaf of grain stands tall while others bow down, and another where the sun, moon, and 11 stars bow before him. The brothers' envy reaches a boiling point when Jacob sends Joseph to check on them while they tend the sheep. They conspire to kill him, but ultimately decide to throw him into a cistern instead. Reuben, the eldest, plans to rescue him later. However, when a caravan of Ishmaelites passes by, the brothers sell Joseph into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. They then deceive Jacob by dipping Joseph's coat in goat's blood, leading him to believe that a wild animal has killed his beloved son. In Egypt, Joseph is sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Despite his misfortune, Joseph's integrity and hard work earn him favor, and he rises to a position of trust in Potiphar's household. However, Potiphar's wife attempts to seduce him. When he rejects her advances, she falsely accuses him of assault, resulting in his imprisonment. While in prison, Joseph continues to excel and earns the trust of the warden. He interprets the dreams of two fellow prisoners, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker. His interpretations come true. The cupbearer is restored to his position, while the baker is executed. 2 years later, Pharaoh has troubling dreams that none can interpret. The cupbearer remembers Joseph and tells Pharaoh about him. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams, predicting 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine, and advises him to store surplus grain. Impressed by Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh appoints him as second in command over Egypt. As the famine strikes, it affects not just Egypt but also Canaan, where Jacob and his sons live. Jacob sends his sons to Egypt to buy grain, where they encounter Joseph, who recognizes them, though they do not recognize him. Joseph accuses them of being spies and detains Simeon, sending the others back to Canaan with grain and instructions to bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, back to Egypt. When they return with Benjamin, Joseph tests their loyalty by placing a silver cup in Benjamin's sack, accusing him of theft. The brothers plead for Benjamin's release, demonstrating their change of heart and loyalty to their father. Overwhelmed with emotion, Joseph reveals his identity, saying, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" He assures his brothers that he holds no ill will, explaining that their actions were part of God's greater plan to save lives during the famine. Joseph invites Jacob and the entire family to move to Egypt, where they settle in the fertile land of Goshen. Jacob, upon reuniting with Joseph, is filled with joy. As Jacob ages, he blesses each of his sons, offering prophetic words about their futures. Judah receives special praise, foreshadowing the lineage of David and Jesus. After Jacob dies, Joseph's brothers fear he will seek revenge for their past betrayal. However, Joseph reassures them, saying, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good," emphasizing the theme of forgiveness and God's providence. Joseph lives to the age of 110, seeing his family flourish in Egypt. Before he dies, he instructs his family to carry his bones back to Canaan when God delivers them, a promise fulfilled during the Exodus.